with Mike Steely and Parker Thune. Hit the guys up on the Riverwind Casino calling line at 405-329-9000. Text the show on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line at 405-651-3439. Live from the Buffalo Wild Wings Studios, here's Mike Steely and Parker Thune.
Welcome in, everybody, and welcome to the weekend. We are here at my home away from home, the one, the only Riverwind Casino. We're 38 Special. We'll be on the Showplace Theater stage tonight. You better hold on loosely, but don't let go. You cling too tightly, you're going to lose control. If you're in the Showplace Theater tonight, that should be a heck of a show tonight. Caught Up in You, another great hit, so there'll be a good crowd for 38 Special. That show is sold out. We have sold-out shows also coming up in March with Bonnie Raitt and Chicago. And then in April, America will be here, as will Boyz II Men. I just gave away my first pair of America tickets. So they're anticipating already that when I'm here, I'm going to be giving away pairs of tickets. So I just gave away one pair of tickets to America. I do have a pair of tickets to see Patti LaBelle, and I have a pair of tickets to the Randy Rogers Band show. You want those? Got to get here quickly. I've got a couple pairs, so come by and tell me you want those. Here at Riverwind tonight, the 80K Golden Clovers giveaway drawings will be happening. Riverwind Casino, nearly 3,000 electronic games on a world-class gaming floor. They have all your favorite table games as well. Great poker room, off-track betting, smoke-free gaming area, the Oasis gaming area, which is big league, Skyloft gaming area upstairs, great bars and dining. We're here in front of Chips and Ales Pub Restaurant. And, of course, the River Buffet tonight is steak night, tomorrow night seafood night. They also have some great options at their food court as well here at Riverwind. So happy to be out here on Friday. And it's a busy weekend for Sooner sports. The OU women play Kentucky today. SEC tournament, Greenville, South Carolina, 1:30 tip time there. You have the Sooner men tomorrow night in a huge matchup in Austin at the Moody Center, 7 o'clock on the SEC Network. You have happening tonight, we have women's softball, number 1 Oklahoma at 19-0 against number 10 South Carolina at 20-0. The last two remaining undefeated teams in Division I. Heck of a matchup, 6:30 on the SEC Network. Plank will have the call tonight, of course. And we have the Sooner baseball team playing a single game tonight at Mitchell Park against Sam Houston State. 6 o'clock pregame, 6:30 for the first pitch. By the way, both the softball team and the baseball team officially, we know now, double header on Sunday because of the weather coming in tomorrow. No games at Mitchell Park Saturday. Doubleheader beginning at noon on Sunday. And you can anticipate from a very good source that the softball team will not be playing on Saturday either. It looks like it's going to be a 1:30 doubleheader at Love's Field with the Sooners in South Carolina coming up on Sunday. We have Portland and the Thunder tonight. It's going to be the Thunder B team against the Blazers. Shea's out. J-Dub's out. Lou Dort's out. Ihart is out. Cason Wallace is out. Chet Holmgren is questionable. So it looks like the Thunder would probably start Alex Caruso, Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, Jay Will, and Kenrich Williams tonight against Portland. Might actually be fun to see if the Thunder B team can get it done tonight against Portland when they match up tonight, 7 o'clock at the Paycom Palace. Women's gymnastics against Michigan tonight, 7:15 at the LNC. Men's gymnastics, both teams, obviously number 1 in the country, will be in Williamsburg, Virginia, Saturday, taking on William and Mary and Greenville. And the OU women's tennis team playing 5 o'clock today as well. Busy weekend, Parker Thune. How's your Friday?
Oh, I have no complaints. Steely, it's a beautiful day in God's country, Norman, America. Warm outside. Apparently, TJ was saying it's supposed to get nasty tomorrow, but that's okay because I'll be indoors doing my taxes. And in the meantime, I will enjoy the beautiful day that the Lord has made for us today.
There you go. I like that attitude. I like the attitude. So you were out to watch and get some video, and I guess Brandon was out there yesterday as well. We'll talk to Brandon Drum coming up at 1:20. as we always do on Friday on the Riverwind Casino Hotline. What caught your eye yesterday? I know we got some players who gained a lot of weight, good weight. We'll talk about that. But what stood out to you yesterday just watching the workout?
Now, I should preface all of this with, yes, it's just spring ball. So by no means am I going to be making any sweeping declarations or grandiose statements about what Oklahoma's actually going to get from a given player this fall. I'm not trying to sell you on this guy being the next big thing at the position. But, Steely, I am moved by Jaren Kanak at tight end. I think there is something there. And you talk to a lot of people that are closer to Hayes, Kanak's hometown of Hayes up in Kansas, folks that have followed his journey since high school. There's a thought, and there has been a thought, even since he was in the prep ranks, that he was better suited to play offense than defense. Obviously, Brent Venables, whom Kanak grew very close with throughout the recruiting process, believed he could become a great linebacker. And, we get to the end of the line for Kanak as a junior at Oklahoma, and it's becoming apparent that it just wasn't working. Just wasn't working on the defensive side of the ball. And to his credit, he consented to the position change. As Venables said earlier this week, he spent a ton of time up at the team facilities doing his best to make sure the transition is as easy and as seamless as possible. And, man, it's really impressive to see the confidence that he has operating at tight end. And he's remarkably polished. If you didn't know any better, you would not think, yeah, that's a converted linebacker playing tight end. Everything he does pretty fluidly, pretty flawlessly. He's the shortest guy of that group, but he's the most muscled up, certainly the most athletic. And you can see the leadership that he's taken upon himself within that group. He's the first guy doing every drill. He's getting instruction from Joe John Finley. He's conversing with the other guys, trading cooking secrets, if you will. But I think because of the athletic specimen that Jaren Kanak is, and due to the fact that he's just impressive enough of an athlete, I guess, that he doesn't really seem like he's having that much trouble adjusting to playing offense once again. He did play a lot of receiver in high school. I think Oklahoma might really have something in Jaren Kanak at tight end. This is a guy that could play meaningful snaps in a lot of them if he continues to progress. Now, he's obviously got to learn the playbook, and it's going to be a different game once you're in 11-on-11 action on the practice field, doing your best to simulate game speed and game environment. But from what I saw yesterday, I'm pretty excited about the Jaren Kanak experiment.
Yeah, yesterday on The Rush, on the Stoops preview, they asked Bob Stoops about his thoughts on that situation. Here's Bob talking about Jaren Kanak moving to tight end.
Yeah, good for him. Find the right spot. I love his commitment to Oklahoma. They're not, rather than just transferring, let me find the right position for me. And Teddy will tell you, we did that through the years. Jamal Brown, Davin Joseph, Lane Johnson. We went through three positions to find Lane's best position. Sometimes you have to do that to figure out what's best for me. And good for him that he's willing to do it. And I really hope it works for him. I think it will. He's a really great athlete, big guy. So I'll be anxious to see how it works.
There you go. Yeah, I can go all the way back, and I'm 95% sure on this, but I believe even back in the early 70s, the great Greg Pruitt, part of the great Sooner teams of the very early 70s, Mr. Do-It Pruitt, hello, goodbye, Greg Pruitt, that guy who averaged like 25 yards a carry one year. I believe he came to Oklahoma as a wide receiver, if I'm not mistaken. And once they went to the wishbone, Greg Pruitt was converted to running back. The rest is history. So sometimes it works out. Not every time do you get what you're looking for, but Kanak 6'2", and that's a decent size for a tight end. So we'll see how it works out for Jaren Kanak at that position. One thing that I thought was interesting during Brent's presser the other day on Wednesday, touched on so many different topics, but this one was interesting too because the rosters are going to go down to 105. These rosters have been really big. Obviously, you get a lot of preferred walk-ons and all of that. But, developing players has been such a huge thing for coaches over the years. Now, that has changed with the portal and the transitions, that you see happening for players, time after time, sometimes even coming through, in the portal in December and then leaving after spring. It's just a transitory type system where people are moving around a lot. So Brent talked about this the other day, that you're not going to be able to keep as many developmental players on your roster anymore.
And I've told these players, for almost 2 years now, things are changing, and we all need to adapt. We're going to have to adapt, and your job is to create value for yourself every single day. You can't just blend in and not be on a list, and everything's going to be okay. That's not going to necessarily keep you here being a good guy anymore. And there's a lot of factors that go into it, and not everybody can be a developmental guy. And but we all value, and I know Jim and his staff, they'll value, developmental people too. And we want a roster that's stable, that's cohesive, that there's some consistency to it.
There you go. And, again, that is pretty much what college football is like now, Parker. And Jim Nagy's going to have a huge role, obviously. And not that you aren't going to have developmental guys, particularly guys you believe in that might need a year or so that you think can be superstar players. But they're not going to have the patience that they've had in the past because you can't afford to in this day and age.
No, and I will say there's still going to be space reserved for guys that just have superior athletic tools and traits. A great example of this on Oklahoma's roster right now would be redshirt sophomore defender Taylor Heim. And I'll call him a defender because I'm not really sure what you categorize him as positionally. He's 6'6", 220 pounds. Is he a defensive back? Is he a linebacker? Not really sure. Is he a cheetah? Okay, maybe. But he's a guy that's only played one game over his first 2 years at Oklahoma. But he was a late eval by Oklahoma staff in the 2023 recruiting cycle from Bethany, Oklahoma. They caught wind of him towards the end, decided, you know what? We're going to take a chance on this kid. We're going to try to develop him. But by contrast, you can look back at all the guys that Oklahoma has politely pushed out the door and rehomed, if you will, over the next few years, or over the last few years, excuse me. It's been a lot of guys that, relative to other college football players, they don't really have anything that stands out about them physically. A unicorn like Taylor Heim, physically speaking at least, that's a guy that's always going to have a place on the roster, at least until you feel you're absolutely certain there's nothing more you can get out of a guy and the experiment is just over and it's not going to work. But those are going to be the type of developmental stashes that you see on Power 4 rosters. They're going to be the Taylor Heims of the world. You're not going to be sitting around waiting for a cookie-cutter 6'1", 190-pound wide receiver to break out in year 3 or year 4. No, you're going to send that guy packing, and you're going to go looking for a guy that can give you something more immediately.
All right, so what did you think of John Mateer? I think everybody saw the video of the great throw he had for the score to Giovanni Gibson. What did you see out of Mateer observing things yesterday?
Yeah, well, I know. It was just drill stuff that we were observing. So, again, you're not taking anything away from that. Nothing sweeping, nothing definitive about the type of player he is or will be at Oklahoma, but certainly looked in command. You can tell like he's got a leadership demeanor. He's got a leader's demeanor, if you will. He's the guy that even if you didn't know anything about football and you were to show up and you were to look around, you were to pick out, okay, who are some of the leaders on this team? John Mateer is one of those guys that you would have been pretty easily able to identify just because of the way he carries himself. And I like the arm, man. Like, there's a lot of arm talent there. There's good accuracy. That was certainly on display. He throws a clean ball every time. Good, repeatable mechanics. Obviously, didn't get to see a whole lot of him running the ball. Didn't get to see him throwing on the run. It was mostly just standing stationary, firing the ball downfield. But from what we did see, a lot to like about John Mateer's makeup.
All right, we're here at Riverwind on a Friday. We have our man Blake Gamble back here in studio. He is looking after YouTube today. He is allowed to speak Wednesdays and Fridays. Other than that, we have him on a leash. But Wednesdays and Fridays, he's good to go. And today we threw out a question about Jaron Kanek for YouTube today. Is that what we did, Blake? Old man already forgot.
Yes, sir, Steelman. The question today, what are your thoughts about Jaron Kanek moving to offense this spring? First option, fired up. He's going to be a star. Optimistic, but wait for the fall. And the last option, upset. He should have been there day one. And shocking, it's early. So far, no votes for the upset option.
There you go. I think that people have seen his athletic ability and know that he can run and all of that stuff. He's been lost on defense for a while. He's made a couple plays, but I think they like the athleticism. Maybe not as much thinking. It's not that you're not going to think at all with Jaron Kanek at tight end, but maybe just turn loose his athletic ability and hope it pans out. So Blake on YouTube. We're on YouTube, live streaming. Go to YouTube, just search KREF Sports. Also want to thank Lasher Home Comfort Systems, 405-579-3113 for sponsoring our first hour here each and every day on Steelman and Thune. Let's hit a break right here. We'll come back, talk what else? We'll talk a lot more Sooner football coming up right here on the Ref.
Bleed Crimson? Love great Sooner talk? Join the Ref Army by downloading our free app. Toby and TJ, Plank and Josh, Steelman and Thune, and Teddy and Tyler. We have the Sooner experts. The Ref is home to Sooner fans worldwide.
For the professional, it's not enough to just possess knowledge. That's why at GMC, we seek to refine it, to wield its power, to redefine its boundaries, while pushing the limits. And we put this knowledge to the test in every GMC Sierra by engineering each one to outperform your expectations. So you know you're getting precision and durability when you need it most. And that's what makes the GMC Sierra the truck worth knowing. We are professional grade. See your Oklahoma GMC dealers.
March is here, and the home of Sooner fans is ready to make the best 68-team giveaway better than ever again this year. Join us Monday, March 17th for the Ref's 24th annual 68-team giveaway live at Buffalo Wild Wings off of 19th Street and more. The Ref's 68-team giveaway is presented by Riverwind Casino. Riverwind Casino. Good times, great rewards. The Ref, the home of Sooner fans, and your home for the best giveaways this March. It's time for your certified most accurate forecast from KOCO5 First Alert Weather. Brought to you by Cavens Group. Do you have a water emergency? Give Cavens a call at 405-573-3048.
From the First Alert Weather Center, this is meteorologist Jonathan Condor with your KOCO5 News weather forecast. Out the door this morning, pretty mild with temperatures in the lower 50s. This afternoon, I really encourage you to get outside. Winds will shift from southwest to northwest and slowly decreasing throughout the day, but it will be sunny with highs in the 70s. Today is the warmest day of the weekend. Tonight, clouds increasing, lows in the 30s for Saturday morning. Saturday, we'll see rain moving in by the afternoon with highs only in the upper 30s.
That was your certified most accurate forecast from KOCO5 First Alert Weather, brought to you by Cavens. Did you have a water emergency that you fear might turn into mold? Give Cavens Group a call at 405-573-3048 or visit cavensgroup.com today.
Speaking of technology, did you know that RK Black is an authorized dealer for Kyocera copiers? And the Kyocera copiers aren't just copiers. They're smart devices that can scan, print, fax, and email your documents with ease and security. Even better, they're backed by RK Black's award-winning service team that is built on nearly 70 years of taking great care of our clients. Whether you need a desktop printer or a multifunction copier, RK Black has the right product for you. Let's get the conversation started. Give us a call at 943-9800 or visit us at rkblack.com.
For 3 generations, the John M. Ireland & Son Funeral Home and Chapel in Morris continued to serve the community by giving back to local schools, charitable organizations, and first responders.
We provide pre-planning for funerals and cremation services at the most reasonable prices.
We are proud to be a family-owned and operated funeral home.
Award-winning funeral home year after year, our family believes in serving the people of our community.
I'm John Ireland.
And I'm Solon Daniels.
You've got our word on it.
This is Peggy Doviak, and I opened DM Wealth Management because of a horrible experience that my mother had with a stockbroker. I wanted to give people an alternative, a place they could go to understand their money, to know why investment decisions were made the way they were, and to create a financial plan that would help them meet their goals. Most of all, I wanted to help them plan their prosperity. Call me at 405-329-8884 or dmwealth.com.
OU softball, baseball, and gymnastics offer great opportunities for you to get out for some exciting action and support your Sooners. Going to an OU event or game? Balfour of Norman on Campus Corner invites you to stop by and get some new OU gear. Whether it's a softball jersey with your favorite player or just a new lucky shirt or hat to wear to the game, Balfour has everything you need to be in style and showing your colors. Cheer for the Sooners in the best and newest styles in Sooner sportswear. Come see us on the corner or shop online at crimsonproud.com, where you will find everything Sooner.
It's Friday. Let's party. Come on out to Riverwind tonight. You talk about a party environment. It's always here at Riverwind. We have 38 Special, legendary Southern rock band on the Showplace Theater stage tonight. Later in March, Bonnie Raitt, Grammy Award-winning artist, fantastic, Rock and Roll Hall of Famer. Chicago, also Rock and Roll Hall of Famers coming later in March. All those shows sold out. But how about April? You have America and Boyz II Men coming in April, and you have Patti LaBelle, the Randy Rogers Band, and Scotty McCreery coming in the month of May. Tonight, we have the 80K Golden Clovers giveaway. The drawing's happening. 36 people going to play a game, collect their share of 80K in cash and bonus play. We have grand prize winners just before midnight. We have, if you want to make it a weekend, have a great meal like tonight at the River Buffet on steak night or chips and ales, where we set up shop on Friday. They've got great food court options, and they have an amazing hotel that is attached to the casino. You can make it a Riverwind weekend. Let's say, you're coming in for softball tonight, baseball today. Now they're not going to play games on Saturday because of the weather, but stay overnight, and then you can take in the softball or baseball doubleheaders on Sunday. Riverwind, there's always something happening here. Good times, great rewards, always at Riverwind. We were talking about John Mateer, and some early impressions from what we saw yesterday. He did say at his presser the other day, the fact that he's here with Ben Arbuckle and he has the relationship, with Ben Arbuckle already, he believes that should make the transition to the new offense a lot smoother.
I think it's very important because I'll always have his back and he'll always have mine. And we see eye to eye. So it's not like I'm telling the receivers to do one thing and he's telling them to do another. Like what's taught in the coaches meetings to the position coaches will be the same thing that I tell the players and then all around. So it'll be great. I think it'll happen pretty quickly just because of all the experience we have in this offense. And it won't be smooth because it's new offense and good defense that we're going against, but it'll happen pretty quickly.
There you go. There are a lot of people, and we talked about this when you first really started looking at his highlights from Washington State. You can see a little bit of Baker Mayfield, and maybe even more than a little bit of Baker Mayfield, in the way he, kind of just leads. And, he's out at these events. He'll be at the women's gymnastics tonight. He was promoting that from the podium the other day. And his teammates already really like this guy. Now, does that mean he's going to be Baker Mayfield? Of course not. But you can see some of old number 6 in John Mateer.
No, you can, Steely, and here's the thing. It's impossible for some people to just digest that there are physical similarities and attitude similarities between John Mateer and Baker Mayfield without thinking that you're comparing John Mateer's ability and his penchant for the quarterback position to Baker Mayfield. No one is suggesting, nor should anyone suggest, that John Mateer is going to be everything on the football field that Baker Mayfield was for the University of Oklahoma. But we can all see that there's some Baker in the way that John plays, right? Whether it's
style of play.
Yeah, exactly. The style of play, the mobility, the willingness to absorb contact, never quits on a play, certainly willing, even though he might not have an elite arm by conventional standards, man, he's aggressive in pushing the ball downfield, unafraid to try and fit it into tight windows. And then when you get him in front of a microphone, as we saw the other day, man, he's got that swagger about him that everybody loved about Baker Mayfield. So it's okay to make personality and stylistic comparisons between John Mateer and Baker Mayfield. No one is saying, folks, that John Mateer is going to be Baker Mayfield 2.0 in terms of his production at Oklahoma or his impact on the University of Oklahoma. That's certainly the hope, but that's an unrealistic expectation to hold anybody to.
Yeah, and I see some of that on social media. Don't tell me he's going to be Baker yet. Baker was. Those people are just stupid and they don't understand nuance. You know, their brain is so small and limited that they just want to argue on Twitter. Those are the idiots that we're talking about, most of them. I don't think anybody said John Mateer is going to be just as good as Baker Mayfield. But if you look at his mannerisms, you look at his leadership, how he goes about it, he's trying to go about it, and I don't think it's anything phony. There are similarities there. That's all people are saying. Because he's going to have an incredible season or 2 seasons if he's at Oklahoma for 2 seasons to be in the same conversation with Baker. But that doesn't mean that, you know, when you watch him go about his business, that he doesn't look a little bit like Baker did in the way Baker conducted himself in Norman. All right, 405-651-3439, Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. What about all the massive weight gains? You know, you've got to get bigger in the SEC. We see a lot more beef on some of these guys, like David Stone, for example, Parker. And have we not been talking about David Stone maybe enough? I think we all know the potential, but maybe this can be the breakout year and the kind of year that Sooner fans expect from David Stone. 5-star kid, recruited by everybody. But let's talk about David Stone and, again, the good weight gains that the Sooners have on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, I'll tell you, man, David Stone looks like a defensive tackle now. He looked like a defensive lineman last year. He looks like a defensive tackle now. You see him out there at 313 pounds, and he looks even more imposing than he did as a true freshman, coming in at 6'4", 290-ish. So very, very pleased with the weight that he's been able to pack on. I think there were a lot of people that were justifiably concerned when they saw Devon Mitchell listed at 275 pounds on the roster yesterday, Steely, but I don't know if that's a typo. It might be. There have been typos on rosters in the past that have misrepresented guys' weight. That's certainly within the realm of possibility, but generally the folks that are responsible for those things at the University of Oklahoma would not make a mistake like that. And so assuming it is the case that Devon Mitchell is carrying 275 pounds, Steely, I'll tell you this much, that's not bad weight. None of it is bad weight, and he has not lost a step, certainly, for the additional weight that he has put on. 6'4", 275 pounds, still moving every bit as well as he did as a freshman, certainly as he did back in his high school days when he was, for a time, the number 1 tight end prospect in the 2025 class before he reclassified.
Yeah. And the video and, the shots, the photos I saw of him, he carries it well. Carry that weight. Oh, that was the Beatles, wasn't it? Boy, you're gonna carry that weight. Okay, there, yeah. I thought he looked pretty good. So, anyway, it's early in the spring. Sunshine pumping tends to crank up maybe a little bit later in the spring. But as I would say to anybody right now, just enjoy, seeing some of these guys in action and seeing the videos. They're going to show you the highlights, not the lowlights, and just hope that the Sooners, again, can have a complimentary football team this fall. And, against what some people are saying is the best or the most difficult schedule in college football, Oklahoma can maybe win 8 or more games if things turn out. That's what I would hope. But, because I've seen this happen year after year after year, and I've been covering Oklahoma football for 41 years now. And, it starts, well, I'll tell you what I like, and then they add 2 or 3 wins. It was easier in the Big 12 and back in the Big 8, but you have to temper those expectations, but have hope that this will be a better Oklahoma football team coming up in the fall. Okay, Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line 405-651-3439. We're live on YouTube as well, and we got a poll question out there today about Jaron Canick's transition to the offensive side of the football. And that question today, you have 3 options. What are your thoughts on Jaron Canick moving to offense in the spring? Option 1, fired up, he's going to be a star. Option number 2, optimistic, but wait for the fall. And option number 3, upset, should have been there day 1. But let's hit the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line first, Parker.
A listener in the 405 says, am I missing something? Is 6'2", 230 Jaron Canick well-sized for a tight end? I thought 6'4", 243 Bauer Sharp was proven to be undersized for an SEC tight end. No, Bauer Sharp was certainly not undersized. In fact, the greatest SEC tight end in recent memory, Brock Bowers, 6'3", 240 pounds, 1 inch taller and 10 pounds heavier than Jaron Canick. Yes, by most standards, Jaron Canick is small-ish at 6'2", 230 for the tight end position. But that doesn't mean he can't play it and play it very well. And make no mistake, his athleticism, which he has loads of, he's one of the absolute best athletes on the entire roster. I think that athleticism, Steely, is going to more than make up for the inch or 2 that he might be giving up in height to other tight ends across the league.
Yeah, and got good speed as well. As you said, he's always been very athletic. He just, I think the thinking part of defense was a little bit difficult for him, maybe a lot of it difficult. And, just free this guy up to be a heck of an athlete. Now, again, if you're an Oklahoma fan, you also have some nightmares from a year ago, like when they were trying to block the South Carolina defensive ends with, Bauer Sharp on occasion and stuff like that, and it was a total disaster. And maybe he's not going to be a really, really good blocking tight end. But in certain situations, I would think Jaron Canick, if he can catch the football, could be a matchup problem. He's got a really good athletic ability. I think the number one question, again, could he turn out to be a decent blocker, a good blocker at 6'2", perhaps? But does he have the hands? Can he catch the football? Because, like I think in certain situations – where you're looking for a matchup, Jaron Canick might be that guy. It's so early to predict that, but I think he does have that kind of athletic ability.
Well, and
all right,
what
else?
You must keep in mind about Jaron Canick, the biggest asset that he's going to have at the tight end position, the biggest asset that he has as a football player, period, is his speed. This was, if you go back to the 2022 recruiting cycle, Jaron Canick was one of the fastest players in the entire nation. He ran below 10.3 in the 100 meters, Steely. Anybody who runs below 10.5 is considered to be blazing fast. And I believe his best time in high school was 10.27, 10.28, something like that. So we're talking about a guy that has truly elite speed. He just really hasn't had the opportunity to showcase it. Because, when do you see linebackers running more than, 20, 25 yards on a given play, right? So we haven't had a chance to see the long speed from Jaron Canick, but he can be a field stretcher at tight end, which is not something Oklahoma has had at that position for a while now.
Yeah, no doubt. I think you summed it up really well. The athletic ability and the speed certainly are there. Maybe he's not the ideal size, but I think at 6'2", he's big enough, and certainly in specialty situations where you can get him isolated with a linebacker, he can win those battles, I think, a lot. The question is, what kind of hands does he have? And we'll see. All right, 405-651-3439. Let's get one more in before we break on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line.
Cool Moj says, all I know about Kanik is he likes to hit. And after watching him plow over 6 guys in a row in high school and feeling pretty good, now he knows more about defensive schemes because of his past few years at OU, and he likes to pound you in the mouth. That is the guy I want with the ball in his hands.
That is a video that has been very popular with Sooner fans for a long time during his high school days when he was a human bulldozer. And I hope it works out for him because he has, stayed with it at OU. I think he likes Norman. I think he likes the coaches. I think, he can be a little bit goofy on social media, but, he's pretty funny. And at that age, that's kind of expected, I guess, in this day and age. But you heard what Brent said the other day. He's the first guy in. Like John Mateer's second, but Jaron Kanik's there first. So you can tell he's excited for this opportunity, and I hope it works out for him because I think he's been a loyal Sooner. A lot of kids in his situation may not have stayed and stuck it out, but he has. So good for him. All right, break time. We're here at Riverwind. It is a Friday. We've got Brandon Drum coming up at 1:20. We'll talk about his impressions from yesterday and talk recruiting as well. Future Freaks is coming up. We'll get into that. And, man, it's going to be a busy Friday. So keep it right here. Keep the text rolling in. Hit the YouTube chat. And we're coming right back here on the home of Sooner fans.
Join the movement. The Ref Army is growing. Don't miss a second of the Sooner coverage you want with the KREF app, the #1 source for Sooner fans.
Does your banker know your business, the challenges you face, and what makes you unique? At Armstrong Bank, we're dedicated to understanding your business and working alongside you. A true partnership is more than financial transactions. It's support, trust, and attention. This is how we make businesses stronger. Armstrong Bank. Strength runs in our family. Contact our knowledgeable bankers to open your business account. Member FDIC.
Hi, this is Jack Kiker with Knippelmeyer Chevrolet, located in Blanchard, America. My grandfather, Larry Knippelmeyer, tells me everybody deserves to save money, so say goodbye to those pushy big-time dealers with all those add-ons like paint protectors, nitrogen tires, and everything else that they could possibly think of. Then come down to Knippelmeyer Chevrolet, just 15 minutes from OKC or Norman. At Knippelmeyer, we will save you money and make sure you get a good buy from a family-owned dealership that has treated customers like family for over 65 years. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
Did you know there's a place where you can get good neighbor service and surprisingly great rates on home and auto insurance? Yep, and that place is, ta-da, State Farm. Here's the deal. State Farm agent Cindy Nasher is your go-to agent in Norman for the service you deserve at the price you want. So stop shopping around. State Farm agent Cindy Nasher has you covered. Call 405-307-0500 for surprisingly great rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements. Are you, your family, or company looking for a locally owned and trusted management group? Carlsbad Management Group is an owner, developer, and manager of high-quality apartment communities in Oklahoma. They are a locally owned and operated management company for apartments and self-storage units. They are committed to providing exceptional apartment homes, customer service, and increasing the value of multi-family communities under our management. If you would like a free management quote today, call Carlsbad Management at 405-701-1411 and be part of the Carlsbad family.
No matter where you live, you care about one thing during bad weather: keeping your family and property safe. Scissortail Roofing and Construction is here to ensure just that. Whether it's damage from strong winds or a hailstorm, we will manage your residential or commercial project from start to finish. Call us today, 405-928-8089, or visit us online at scissortailroofing.com for a free estimate. Call Scissortail today, your trusted local roofing and construction company.
What's the biggest myth about interscholastic performing arts? That you have to be the most talented or experienced to participate. The truth is, anyone can be a part of their school's performing arts. There are countless opportunities for students to participate, from theater, choir, and band to speech and debate. The bottom line, if you want to perform, there's a place for you.
This message presented by the NFHS and the OSSAA.
Thanks to generous community support, Wounded Warrior Project has helped post 9/11 veterans and their families since 2003. Through no-cost physical and mental health services, legislative advocacy, career assistance, and life skill training, we're there every step of the journey.
It's possible to feel understood.
To get support when it's needed most.
And now I know anything is possible.
And we're just getting started. Learn more at woundedwarriorproject.org/possible.
Once upon a time, our family had trouble with pests around our home. Did you know that stinging insects send tons of people to the hospital? And teeny ticks and mosquitoes can be all around the yard. Their bites can make people and their pets sick. Mice, rats, and roaches need food and water just like us. You do not want them to visit. They can spread disease and make it hard to breathe. I'm sure glad this story has a happy ending.
Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org.
A public service message from the National Pest Management Association.
Back with you Friday at Riverwind Casino. It's going to be another fantastic weekend here at Riverwind. We have the 80K Golden Clovers giveaway drawings happening tonight. And a lot of people are going to be very happy to win their share of 80K in cash and bonus play. It's going to be a fun time tonight. And also coming up tomorrow night, the 30K Shamrock Surprise Hot Seat drawings are happening tomorrow night here at Riverwind. You can always come out and have a great meal at Chips and Ales Pub Restaurant, where we set up on Fridays to do our shows out here. Or you can head over to the River Buffet, steak night tonight, seafood night tomorrow. They've got nearly 3,000 electronic games on a very clean and nice gaming floor that they refurbished a little over a year ago. That's spectacular. They've got all your favorite table games as well. Off-track betting. They've got a great poker room. They've got a smoke-free gaming area, the Oasis gaming area. Tonight we have 38 Special, sold-out show at the Showplace Theater. Later in March, Bonnie Raitt will be here, Hall of Famer, multi-Grammy award-winning artist, Chicago. Rock and Roll Hall of Famers coming later in March. Multi-Grammy award-winning artists there as well. In April, America and Boys to Men. In May, Patti LaBelle, the Randy Rogers Band, and Scotty McCreery. There's always something happening here at Riverwind Casino. Good times and great rewards always at Riverwind. All right, before we talk a little Sooner basketball in Austin tomorrow night, and before we get to the text line and maybe back to YouTube real quick, you know what I do when I look at my folder when I get in the production studio in the morning, and if I look at each date, and this one said 3-7 from last year, and all it said was State of the Union Lincoln Riley. And I'm like, State of the Union Lincoln Riley? What the heck was that? And I know it's got to be something stupid that I put together. But
I remember
before
this
I delete
one.
Oh, you do remember this one?
I remember it.
Okay, because I don't remember it. So before we get serious again, I want to know what State of the Union Lincoln Riley was from a year ago.
If anybody in this room thinks Lincoln Riley will stop, I assure you he will not. A former president tells Lincoln Riley, quote, "Do whatever the hell you want." That's a quote. A former president actually said that. I think it's outrageous, it's dangerous, and it's unacceptable. Tonight, I'm directing the U.S. military to lead an emergency mission to prevent Lincoln Riley. But what to do next? I want to cap Lincoln Riley. It's wrong, and I'm ending it.
I don't remember that in Biden's State of the Union. It must have been the part after the TV part. I don't know. So there you go.
Well, do you remember, like, he accidentally said Lincoln Riley's name?
Oh, yeah.
In the State of the Union.
He did say Lincoln Riley, and I just copied and pasted that throughout the whole comment right there. So there you go. Fun with audio. 405. Oh, real quick. Sooners, Texas tomorrow night. Porter Moser and Rodney Terry both have their jobs on the line. Both the Sooners and the Longhorns are fighting for their tournament lives. Texas beat Oklahoma by 4 at the LNC back in mid-January. Remember, they led by 16 at half. Porter was really angry afterwards, said they didn't have the energy they needed to start the game. Sam Godwin, again, not good there. Jalen Moore is going to play. You know, he played the other night, did a decent job. But how healthy is he? And then you've got this game on the SEC Network tomorrow night. And high stakes in this game, Parker, no doubt. And, you know, when you're thinking about where the Sooners are, they really need this game. Is it a must-win? I think it is. Clearly, if you don't win this game, you got to go make a really big run in the SEC tournament. And here's another problem, Parker. Porter Moser has never beaten Texas. So what are your thoughts on tomorrow night?
I forgot about that, but that's true, isn't it?
It
Porter
is.
has never beaten what is he, 0-7?
I believe it's 0-7 unless there was a tournament game. He might be 0-8, but it's one of those two.
Oh, man. So it doesn't feel like there's all that much reason to believe that Oklahoma is going to be able to get it done this weekend, both because you have to play on the road and because you lost to this team earlier in the season, not to mention the fact that Porter Moser has that monkey on his back. I don't know, Steele. Like, here's the reality. Oklahoma needs at least one more win. At least one more win. If they fall to Texas and they are one and done in the SEC tournament, you can kiss it goodbye, because I was looking this morning at Joe Lunardi's latest bracketology, and Oklahoma's in a familiar spot, number 69. And this is the one scenario in which 69 is not nice at all, because that means you're the first team out of the field. So, if you're going to get back in the field, it stands to reason that you have to win at least one game, probably two. And so you're right, Steele. Like, this feels like something's got to give between the Sooners and the Longhorns for Porter Moser's sake, for Rodney Terry's sake. There are major bubble implications here. And this may be the game that dictates whether or not we get another year of Porter Moser. If they go and win, and they can claim, okay, we won consecutive games and got to, what would it be at that point, 6-12 in SEC play,
Yes.
one of the toughest conferences that college basketball has ever seen, then I think there's legitimately a case that this is going somewhere. This isn't dead. This program doesn't require a change in leadership in order to get back to its winning ways. And certainly if you win this game, you drastically increase your chances of making the tournament field. So, man, what your hope is going into this weekend's game is that Jeremiah Fears can continue to build off one strong performance after another, because ever since he really hit that scuffle towards the beginning, that midpoint of conference play, man, he's come on stronger and stronger and stronger, and that obviously hit new heights earlier in the week when he came up with a career-high 31 points against Missouri.
Yeah, he was awesome, and that's another aspect of this game tomorrow night. You've got two freshmen, both lottery-projected picks, Trey Johnson for Texas and Jeremiah Fears for Oklahoma. So huge game tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, SEC Network from the Moody Center in Austin. Blake, let's check in with you, see what's up on the YouTube chat. Then if we have time left in the segment, we'll try and get to the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line as well. What's happening with YouTube today, Blake Gamble?
Yeah, first up, Eric in the OC, a little bit of doubt on Jaren Kanik's speed. He says, what's his 40 time? That's a more relevant stat for a tight end. So I did a little Googling it up and first found a 40 time that Jaren Kanik had at a high school showcase where he posted a 4.41.
Yep.
I think that'll play. And then another one just a winter or two ago at OU where several Sooner players were being tested, where Jaren Kanik put up a 4.40. And, you know, sometimes I feel like those stats, maybe, a decimal or two, 100-second gets shaved off to make your players look good. But Billy Bowman in that same workout was given a 4.49, and we just saw him run a 4.42 at the Combine. So Jaren Kanik is legit fast.
Yeah, you like to see that. No doubt about it. All right, anything else we need to know from the YouTube chat?
Not for the chat, but the poll question, Steelman, it is a Friday, a little bit of low voter turnout so far, so make sure to head over there and participate in our poll. But it's 50-50 right now between people being fired up about Jared Kanek moving to offense this spring, or just cautiously optimistic, people wanting to wait and see how he does this fall. Still 0 votes about being upset that he should have been there from day one.
All right, 405-651-3439, Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. Some other news that I think we were anticipating yesterday, Parker, but it's official. Jaden O'Neal going to be playing high school ball at Mustang next year. What do you think?
Yes, indeed, and hopefully that dispels any notion, and I know there has been a lingering notion, but hopefully that dispels said notion that Jaden O'Neal's commitment status to the University of Oklahoma isn't any doubt, because I don't think you're moving to play your senior year in the state of Oklahoma unless you plan on enrolling at the University of Oklahoma. So, yes, Oklahoma is in the mix for Bo Bentley, the 4-star quarterback out of Salina, Texas, in one way or another. I do believe they're going to look to add 2 quarterbacks in the 2026 class, but Jaden O'Neal is the guy for the moment. He is the guy. He's not going anywhere. They might add another guy, but no question about it, unless something goes catastrophically sideways, Jaden O'Neal is going to be in Oklahoma's signing class, and in the meantime, he's going to have a lot easier time recruiting his peers to Norman, America, given that he's now just 45 minutes up the road.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt about it. All right, we'll talk more in detail with Brandon coming up at 1:20 when he joins us on the Riverwind Casino hotline. But give me a quick little synopsis of what you're looking at this weekend for the Future Freaks event.
Oh, boy. It is an absolutely loaded visit list, and you can head to OUinsider.com to see the complete visit list. But no doubt going to be interested to see what kind of headway Oklahoma can make with Bo Bentley, the aforementioned 2026 4-star quarterback from Salina, as well as Peyton Houston, who's going to be back in town, the 4-star quarterback, and he will be a 5-star in the 2027 class, Oklahoma's lone quarterback target in that class as of right now. You look through the rest of the list, it's a really, really strong group of visitors for Bill Bedenbaugh. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 offensive line targets, high-end offensive line targets in the 2025 or 2026 class, that are coming in. And then in 27, 3 targets that have OU offers, already very highly regarded, that are going to be stopping by Norman. So 8 total visitors, big-time ones for Bill Bedenbaugh. Really, really strong group of offensive linemen set to come to town. It might not be as good, though, as this defensive line group. The Sooners have, in total, 7, 8, 9, 10? 10 total defensive linemen between the 2026 and 2027 classes that either have a national ranking or have an offer from Oklahoma or both.
There you go. And as I said, we'll talk more about the Future Freaks event this weekend coming up with Brandon Drum at 1:20 when he joins us on the Riverwind Casino hotline. OU women, by the way, we are about 35 minutes away, depending on the earlier game going on in Greenville, South Carolina. Now, I said I wasn't going to do the SEC pronunciation. Greenville, South Carolina. Greenville, up there in Greenville. The OU women taking on Kentucky. And the winner of this game at 1:30 today or thereabouts will play South Carolina in the Saturday semifinals, 3:30 on ESPN2. Sooners are 10th ranked. Kentucky is number 12 in the country, but UK beat Oklahoma 95-86 at the LNC back in February. Georgia Amore had an unbelievable night, 43 points, and that was the night where the Sooners shot 6 of 29 from three-point range. So that game will tip around 1:30 today in Greenville, South Carolina at the SEC Women's Tournament. So that is what's going on. And then, of course, the men tomorrow night, 7 o'clock in Austin against Texas. We've got Baseball today, 6:30, 6 o'clock pregame on the Ref, taking on Sam Houston State. The game scheduled for Saturday. Nope, not going to happen. Doubleheader at noon on Sunday because of the weather coming in tomorrow. We do have Sooner softball tonight, 6:30 against South Carolina. 2 unbeaten, so the last 2 going at it in the SEC opener at Love's Field. They will also play a doubleheader coming up Sunday and will not play Saturday. So a lot to talk about next hour, and Brandon Drum will join us, so stay here on the home of Sooner fans.
Sound off any time of day on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line at 405-651-3439. Right here on the home of Sooner fans.
The Ref Sports Radio Network.
Ever wonder why someone would wake up at the crack of dawn just for a chance at the unknown? Maybe a better question is, what are you waiting for? Pacifico is brewed for those who follow their own path. That's living life anchors up.
The Ref is the home of Sooner fans and is once again your home for chaos. Every game-changing hit.
Long fly ball to left. Track. Whoa. Gone.
Every strikeout.
Got him. Swinging.
Every defensive gem.
He caught it. He caught it.
Every game, all year, the Ref has you covered.
Catch Sooner softball as they host Sam Houston State this Friday at 6:30 and Saturday and Sunday at 2 o'clock right here on the Ref and the K-Ref app.
From the gridiron to the hardwood to the diamond, no one covers the Sooners like we do. If it's Sooner Sports, we have you covered 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. This is the home of Sooner fans.
OU softball, baseball, and gymnastics offer great opportunities for you to get out for some exciting action and support your Sooners. Going to an OU event or game? Balfour of Norman on Campus Corner invites you to stop by and get some new OU gear. Whether it's a softball jersey with your favorite player or just a new lucky shirt or hat to wear to the game, Balfour has everything you need to be in style and showing your colors. Cheer for the Sooners in the best and newest styles in Sooner sportswear. Locally owned for more than 45 years, Balfour continues to be Sooner fans' favorite OU store and has everything you need. Balfour has the latest styles and fashion trends for men, women, and children. You can find something for every Sooner fan. When it comes to hats, they have you covered with more than 100 styles to choose from. Even OU socks, so you're literally covered from head to toe. Graduation is right around the corner. They have OU diploma frames in stock. Or you can always get a gift card so they can choose the perfect gift for themselves. Come see us on the corner or shop online at crimsonproud.com, where you will find everything Sooner.
For over 40 years, John Vance and family have been selling the best trucks made and sold in America. One of these is the superior quality Ram truck. Whether it's the new Ram 1500 or the heavy-duty 2500 or 3500, you'll experience the very best in towing capacity, comfort, and ride. And now's the perfect time to shop Vance Auto Group in Guthrie, where you'll find every new Ram truck specially priced during Ram Truck Month. Go to vanceautogroup.com. You'll see a huge selection of new Rams, each listed with retail price, discounted price, and all incentives and rebates. You'll also see the Vance engine, transmission, and other powertrain components lifetime guarantee. This guarantee provides you with a free lifetime of peace of mind for that new Ram truck you'll be buying. And it's good for as long as you own your new Ram, no matter how many miles you drive. Come by the Vance Auto Group dealership located on I-35 exit 153 or shop online at vanceautogroup.com. See deal for powertrain guarantee details with approved credit.
We all play a role in keeping our communities safe. Oklahoma is no stranger to attacks. It's now easier than ever. If you see something, say something. The free and anonymous Protect OK app allows instant reporting of suspicious activity, both in schools and the community. You can help keep your family and friends safe. Protect OK.
Protect OK.
Protect OK.
Protect OK.
Download the Protect OK app today in the Apple App or Google Play stores. Funded by the Oklahoma Office of Homeland Security.
Hey, life doesn't stop when cancer starts. After diagnosis, treatment is vital. But for some, just getting there, to appointments, chemo, or radiation, is a major challenge. You can change that. Volunteer to give rides with the American Cancer Society Road to Recovery program. Driving for a few hours of your day can make a life-saving difference for someone with cancer. Visit cancer.org/drive to learn more.
You're listening to the home of Sooner fans, KREF, Norman, Oklahoma, and streaming live on the KREF app.
The Ref Sports Radio Network.
We are here for hour number 2 here at Riverwind Casino. Always love being out here at Riverwind. Always something happening here at Riverwind. Good times, great rewards, all the time. And how about tonight? We've got the big Friday night promotional drawings happening at Riverwind again, as we do every month. This month in March, it's the 80K Golden Clovers giveaway. And then you can get out here and hopefully hear your name called, win your share of 80K in cash and bonus play. Tomorrow night, we've got the 30K Shamrock Surprise Hot Seat drawings happening. Giving away a lot of cash and bonus play there as well. Always great chances to win jackpots out here. They give away millions in jackpots every month. And they also have these great promotions, which are always cool. Tonight, in concert on the Showplace Theater stage, Southern Rock Legends 38 Special, sold-out show. Should be a great time tonight. Bonnie Raitt's sold-out show will be coming up later in March on Saturday, March 15th. Chicago, sold-out show, March 28th on a Friday. We're talking about, again, Rock and Roll Hall of Famers, multi-Grammy award-winning artists with Bonnie Raitt in Chicago. 38 Special, extremely popular band as well. We also have some great shows in April with America and Boys to Men in May, Patti LaBelle, Randy Rogers Band, and Scotty McCreery. And they announced the Beats and Bites Outdoor Food and Music Festival lineup for 2025 just recently. Heading into their 9th year, great food trucks everywhere, and anything you can think of to eat that's going to be really good, you'll find it at Beats and Bites. Great music. We have a fireworks show in July, of course. You've got retail vendors, kid-friendly environment. In June, the show, Josh Turner and Edwin McCain. In July, this will be on July 19th on a Saturday night, Rick Springfield, 80s heartthrob ladies, and a fireworks show afterwards. In August, pretty good duo here, Kansas and Starship. In September, Gary Allen with Drive. All those shows, again, with the exception of the September 5th show, are Saturday night shows. The Gary Allen Drive show in September is a Friday night show. Now, tickets aren't going to go on sale until Friday, April 4th, but you might want to put that on your calendar as a reminder. Tickets for the Beats and Bites shows will go on sale again on Friday, April 4th, but it's back, and it'll be awesome. Beats and Bites 2025. Okay, Parker, you were out at yesterday at the opportunity to, go out and get some video and take some photographs and just observe the workout, the spring workout yesterday, and then the interviews the other day as well. I don't think I asked you, maybe I did, I'm old enough, forgot already, but of the interviews that you had the other day with the newcomers, be it freshmen or portal guys, which ones maybe surprised you the most, or did you really enjoy talking to the most that maybe surprised you?
I love talking to a couple of wide receivers, Josiah Martin being one. He's just so excited to be here. Wanted to come to Oklahoma out of high school. OU recruited him but never offered him. As I understood it, Emmett Jones wanted to offer him. Jeff Lebby did not. And so he wound up going to Cal for a year. But obviously Lebby leaves, He decides to move on from Cal, gets the opportunity to come back at Oklahoma. And you can tell that's a guy that's going to make the most of the opportunity. And he's going to treat it the right way because he's so thankful to be at Oklahoma. And then Keontez Lewis, it's really, really cool to hear him kind of lay out his background everywhere he's been. If for those that aren't familiar, he spent his freshman season at UCLA, then he transferred to Wisconsin, then he transferred to Southern Illinois, and now here he is as a fifth-year senior at Oklahoma. So he's been around the block, but he's got some familiarity with the program because he's cousins with C.J. Colden, whom you may remember led Oklahoma in interceptions in 2022, transferred after a 5-year career at Wyoming and spent the 2022 season with the Sooners before entering the draft pool and signing with the Minnesota Vikings as an undrafted free agent. So Keontez Lewis, very familiar with Oklahoma, because of his cousin's experience here. And a guy that, like, you can tell in talking to him, too, there are guys that jump around from school to school because they have character issues or because they're out for money. That's not really the case with Keontez Lewis. He's just a guy that has been seeking the right situation continually and hasn't been able to really find it yet. He believes that that's what Oklahoma is going to provide for him here in his final year of collegiate eligibility, and looks really, really good when you see him out there on the practice field. The physical makeup, man, he looks like a dude that's going to contribute for Oklahoma at receiver. It's a crowded group. It's a group where outside of Deion Burks, it doesn't feel like anybody is going to be handed snaps, and there's going to be a lot of healthy competition. But Keontez Lewis could be quite impactful for Oklahoma if everything breaks right for him and he continues to build on a strong performance thus far in winter, carry that over into spring, and then ultimately into fall camp as well.
Michael Fasusi, I think we're scheduled to have him Monday at 12:20. Now,
Really?
with the athletes, things can change at any minute, but courtesy of our friends at One Oklahoma, so we're hopeful to have Michael Fasusi on with us on Monday. What a unique, really mature kid who obviously has a ton of talent, 5-star kid, great get for Oklahoma. But this is a kid who is really has a strategy, right, with his life. And I understand he's a really good student too, but mature beyond his years. What are your thoughts on Fasusi and what role he might have this year? Could he break through?
Okay, look, he could, absolutely. He is good enough. There is enough raw talent there. I am not counting on it, and I don't think that's the expectation that should be placed on Fasusi because it's really, really, really hard for true freshmen to see the field for Bill Bedenbaugh. There are only 3 guys that have earned starts as true freshmen under Bedenbaugh. Drew Samia, he's the only guy to start from day one as a true freshman. And then, of course, Anton Harrison and Caden Green. Outside of that, Bedenbaugh's been here going on 12 years, Steely, 12 years. Oklahoma has seen some really, really talented offensive linemen come through. Several first-round picks come through in that time. But even some of the absolute best of the best that have worn the crimson and cream and learned under Bedenbaugh, they have not touched the field in any meaningful capacity as a true freshman. And you look at the depth that Oklahoma has at tackle, right? Jacob Sexton coming back. Jake Taylor coming back. You add Derek Simmons to the mix. You add Luke Baklenko to the mix. You still have Isaiah Autry-Dent that really earned a lot of praise for his performance on the practice field throughout the fall, and you saw him a little bit towards season's end, especially in that Maine game. So Oklahoma's got good depth at tackle. In order for a guy like Fasusi to earn snaps, to play his way onto the field, he's going to have to make it abundantly clear and unambiguous, indisputable, that he is better than all but no more than one of those guys, right? So I'm not necessarily counting on that in an immediate sense with Fasusi. He will absolutely be, I would think, a front runner to start at tackle heading into the 2026 season. If he sees the field this year, great, but I think it more likely that they work him in here and there in non-conference play, get his feet wet, and prepare him for a starting role in year 2 as opposed to trying to get him on the field in year 1.
Okay, 405-651-3439, Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. Also want to remind you, hour number 2 is a presentation of High Tower Clinical. High Tower Clinical, clinical trials in the state of Oklahoma that really have done wonders in the area, and they've got several locations scattered around the Oklahoma City metro area. No cost, no insurance needed to take part. And again, you look at how about your meds provided for free, and you can be compensated for your time. That's a heck of a deal. They're located again in various metro area locations. If you want some more information on these clinical trial opportunities, hightowerclinical.com. That is hightowerclinical.com, or you can call or text them to get more info as well at 405-831-5905. That's 405-831-5905. 5905. Let's hit the text line, see what's up.
Gunny of Stutzman Army says, Steely, don't be a hoe. Give us the old man rant.
Well, I mean, it's still early. You never know. I could be ranting here in a little bit. I would say that Vegas has me as the favorite to go on an old man rant before 2 p.m. So just stick around, Gunny. You might get one. I got this one. A friend of mine on the Twitter machine. Steely, I just heard you run down the Riverwind concerts that are coming up. How would you rank the remaining bands in order? Well, I don't know if you're talking about just now. If you're just going on the Showplace Theater lineup, I don't know if you want to throw the Beats and Bites bands in there, but I would go Chicago number one for me, particularly, the old school Terry Cash Chicago when they were awesome. And they had a lot of hits with Peter Cetera later, but they got a little bit sappy in my opinion. But they had a bunch of big hits when they went that direction. But I would go Chicago 1. I would go – it's real close between America and 38 Special. I'd probably go America 2, 38 Special 3. Patti LaBelle 4. You know me, I'm not much of a modern-day country bumpkin. So I'd go Scotty McCreery, Randy Rogers Band after that. I like more the old-school country. I was never a huge country guy, but if you're going to play some country for me, Waylon and Willie, some Johnny Cash, maybe some Merle Haggard, Highwaymen, maybe George Jones. I don't like the new country. I think a lot of these guys are phony country people, in my opinion. They're just made to look country. But if I was throwing in the bands from Beats and Bites, I would probably go Steel Chicago 1, and then I might go Starship 2. And I'd throw Kansas probably right there with 38 Special. So that's how I would do it right there. Okay, 405-651-3439, Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. The OU women will play, as expected, South Carolina if they beat Kentucky today in Greenville, South Carolina. In the SEC Women's Tournament, South Carolina, as expected, beat Vanderbilt. So if Oklahoma can beat Kentucky today, and that game's going to tip off here in about 20 minutes, I think, and the Sooner women beat Georgia yesterday behind Reagan Beers with 22 points and 8 rebounds. They would play again South Carolina's Dawn Staley tomorrow at 3:30. But you got to beat this Kentucky team, and they already lost to UK at the LNC earlier in the season, and you got to do a better job on Georgia Moore, who had 43 against them in that first meeting. But the OU women did shoot 6 of 29 in that first meeting. One thing that I think the only thing that maybe, turnovers have been an issue for the OU women all year, but Peyton Verhulst was only one. Man, I sounded Howard Schnellenberger there for Peyton Verhulst. Peyton Verhulst was 1 of 8 yesterday and 0 of 6 from 3. So hopefully she's got that out of her system. And we'll keep you posted on that matchup. It'll tip right around 1:30. All right, let's get some more texts in on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line.
Boomer Brady asks, if I recall correctly, didn't Orlando Brown start at left tackle as a true freshman for Bill? No, he didn't. He redshirted. He started as a redshirt freshman, but not as a true freshman. A 405 listener says, what's the injury and status of Jaden Gibson? Will he be ready by fall? Yes, he'll be ready by fall, presumably, assuming there are no further setbacks, but you're not going to see him this spring. Patrick asks, it's 1:11 p.m. Have I missed Steely's rant yet? You have not missed Steely's rant. The rant is still in the chamber. Gunny of Stutzman Army adds, speaking of country music, Reba is a hoe.
Well, she's married to Rex Lynn, right, who's a Longhorn. And by the way, went to school in Oklahoma City. I think he went to the rich kid school, Cassidy. So, but yeah, Reba should not have posed with a Longhorn in that situation after Texas beat Oklahoma. My opinion. Steely doesn't like the new country. Big surprise. I was never a huge country guy. I'm not a country boy. I'm a city slicker, all right? I'm a city slicker. I've never wore a pair of Wranglers. I've owned one pair of boots. I've never in my life worn a cowboy hat, ever. I'm not a country guy. I'm just not. And that's all I got to say about that. Okay, 405-651-3439. Let's get a couple more in, Parker.
The Waffler says, did anyone ever mention that Eli Drinkwitz is a hoe?
Well, we know that. We definitely know that. No doubt.
Jamie in White House asks, why did it take so long to move Kanak to offense? I think the simple answer is because Oklahoma was pretty convinced the linebacker thing was going to work for Jaren Kanak. And for a while, it did work, Steely, right? Like, he played a lot as a true freshman at linebacker. He started for the first, 7, 8 games of his sophomore year.
Remember the game he had early against Nebraska up in Lincoln?
Well, remember the game he had last year as a sophomore against Texas. He led Oklahoma in tackles in that climactic 34-30 victory over the Longhorns. So Jaren Kanak could play linebacker and played at a pretty high level. Unfortunately, it always seemed to be the cognitive aspect of playing the position, at least in Brent Venable's scheme, that got him a little bit lost at times. And when you're a little bit lost out there, athleticism can only take you so far. So I think this move to tight end is for the best.
Well, he got lost in the bowl game, right, on the 95-yard run by the Navy QB?
Yeah, well, everybody got lost on that play. Like, if you look at that play, everybody blew their assignment for the most part. PJ is lost. Certainly Kanak is lost. Michael Boganowski is lost. I forget. There are several other guys that are realistically in the play and are just completely I don't know what's going through their head. I don't know what they're looking at, but it was just a total breakdown on so many levels on that play for Oklahoma.
All right, we got to take a break. We got our man Brandon Drum coming up on the Riverwind Casino Hotline next segment. Future Freaks. We're future freaking this weekend. We'll get Brandon's thoughts on that, what he saw yesterday at the availability to watch the spring workout. We'll talk about OU Texas basketball and more. That's coming up next when he joins us on the Riverwind Casino Hotline next here on the Ref.
Through the dead of winter to the dawn of spring, through the dog days of summer and the kickoff of fall, no one covers Sooner football like we do. The Ref is SEC ready. Are you?
Oklahoma baseball's single game tickets are on sale now. Don't miss a packed 31-game home schedule this spring at L. Dale Mitchell Park. Seats start at just $10 per game, with exciting promotions like $2 Tuesdays, Firework Fridays, and Sunday Fun Day for Conference Series. Guaranteed fun for the whole family. Check out the game schedule and more information at Soonersports.com. Join us at the ballpark and Boomer Sooner.
March is here, and the home of Sooner fans is ready to make the best 68-team giveaway better than ever again this year. Join us Monday, March 17th for the Ref's 24th annual 68-team giveaway live at Buffalo Wild Wings off of 19th Street and more. The Ref's 68-team giveaway is presented by Riverwind Casino. Riverwind Casino. Good times, great rewards. The Ref, the home of Sooner fans, and your home for the best giveaways this March.
Life is yours to spend. Spend it making more money. Spend it making more memories. Spend it learning a new skill. Spend it teaching an old trick. Spend it career climbing. Spend it mountain climbing. First United Bank. Spend life wisely.
Hi everybody, Toby Rowland here. And are you and your family looking for a place to golf in 2025? The Trails Golf Club in Norman is perfect for you. The Trails give you the opportunity for you and your family to spend quality time together by playing golf, enjoying the pool in the summertime, along with many family fun-filled activities around holidays. Plus, one of the best restaurants in town. Now is the perfect time to join the Trails. Contact Zane Alexander today at 405-360-3790 or visit trailsgolf.com.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
Entrepreneurs in Moore, Norman, and South Oklahoma City have an experienced business partner in their neighborhood. Moore Norman Technology Center's Workforce and Economic Development Team understands the challenges entrepreneurs and small businesses face every day. From building an effective business model to hiring the right employees and managing cash flow, Moore Norman's business development experts can help you move forward confidently and thrive, knowing that you have a skilled partner at your side. Learn more about Moore Norman's Technology Center by calling 405-801-5000 or visit us online at mntc.edu.
At Confidence Ford of Norman, we believe in living up to our name. Our commitment to confidence is in everything we do. Whether you're searching for the perfect vehicle from our extensive selection of new Ford models or pre-owned cars, our dedicated team will help you every step of the way. Because with us, you're family. We're conveniently located at 825 North Interstate Drive. Confidence Ford of Norman, a Cavender Auto family dealership where confidence is Cavender.
As Oklahoma grows, we want to grow with it, and serving part-time in the Oklahoma Army National Guard is perfect for that. Our service provides money for school, so we can be ready for a new career or improve our current one. We learn valuable teamwork skills and get hands-on with some of the latest tech. And we also help the communities we live in recover whenever they are in need. Our service is helping to keep Oklahoma and ourselves moving forward. Learn more at nationalguard.com/OK.
Sponsored by the Oklahoma Army National Guard. Aired by the Oklahoma Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Back here at Riverwind on a Friday. Great to have you with us, getting you ready for the weekend. We have a lot of stuff happening. Baseball tonight, 6 o'clock pregame, 6:30 first pitch for the Sooners and Sam Houston State from Mitchell Park. They will not play games on Saturday. They will have a doubleheader at noon on Sunday. Softball tonight, South Carolina and Oklahoma, the last two remaining Division I unbeaten softball teams. SEC opening weekend at Loves Field. And again, 6:30 tonight on the SEC Network. They also will not be playing tomorrow. They will play a doubleheader Sunday beginning at 1:30 at Loves Field. OU women's basketball getting ready to tip off against Kentucky and Greenville, South Carolina. And we have the women's gymnastics team hosting Michigan tonight at 7:15 at the Lloyd Noble Center. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, when you hear the sound of the drum, you'll be saying, here he comes. That's the one and only Brandon Drum on the Riverwind Casino hotline. All right, so you get to see the workout yesterday as well. Any big takeaways, player-wise, or, Ben Arbuckle, assistant coaches? What was your general observation, Brandon?
I think Ben Arbuckle's taller than I think a lot of people probably understand. That was something that stood out to me. On the opposite end of the spectrum, I would say that Wes Goodwin is a lot shorter than Parker and I expected, so there was that. But as far as players go, I look. It's one practice. I tweeted out, and there were some people that thought I was literally trying to compare talent, even though I said in my tweet, I am not comparing the talent between the two. That would be stupid. But the mannerisms of John Mateer, the style in which he plays, is very much akin to a former number 6 at Oklahoma. And I think, the OU football account really kind of pushed that narrative even further with the video that they showed yesterday with him running down and celebrating with Giovanni Gibson. after that touchdown pass, and that's just who he is. That's what we've heard all offseason. He's very, very passionate. He's very, very intense. You screw up, he's going to let you know about it, but he's also going to be the first person to celebrate with you. So the teammates have really kind of started gravitating towards him as a leader. And he talked about being the first in line, being that guy the first day that they showed up for workouts. And they said, you're our guy, you're our leader, lead from day one. So I think that tells you all you need to know about him as a person, as a player. We got to see that in person. I think the defensive line really stood out to me a lot. They're huge. I can't remember, they're probably going to have 5 or 6 kids, players that are over 300 pounds by the time football season rolls around. They've already got 4. Trent Wilson is 6 pounds away. And, the rate at which Nigel Smith is putting on pounds, I mean, he may not reach, the 300 pounds, but I could see him being 295. And people need to remember he came in like at 245, 250 at Oklahoma. So that's quite a bit of weight in a little over a year, right, that he's put on. He's a little over 280 right now. So he's getting bigger and bigger. That D-line's just big. I thought the safeties looked good, particularly the freshmen. I thought Amarian Robinson and Marcus Wimberly looked really good. I thought they they exuded a veteran feel to how they went about the practice. And you could see they were intent in everything that they did. And, Coach Hall was kind of, pumping them up a little bit out there, like, good job, way to focus, way to do it the right way the first time, that type of stuff. Because those drills aren't easy for a lot of guys. They haven't done a lot of those drills, and they're getting taught certain techniques that they haven't been taught before. So this is all just new stuff. And I think I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Jaron Kanek. He looked phenomenal at tight end. I'm not going to lie. Like he did. He looked phenomenal. He's not the biggest guy. He's probably about an inch shorter than everybody else out there. But he's fluid in his routes. His hands are soft, and you could tell, a lot of guys, you can hear the ball hit their hands, and you could not hear it when it hit his hands, no matter how hard the ball was being thrown at him. He has soft hands. He brings his hands up late like you're supposed to. Everything is just natural with him at the tight end. He's going to have to learn how to block. He's going to have to learn the system. He's going to have to learn to play at a different size than most guys. But weight-wise, he's at 245, so he's at a good weight for a tight end. So I think with his speed, with his athleticism, with his hands, I think there's something there that Oklahoma can use, particularly Ben Arbuckle, maybe at an H-back spot or something to that extent. I don't know. But overall, I just thought that it was a first practice, and there were some good things that you could latch onto potentially. But it was on the up. I will say one more thing: the defensive ends. Yeah, they're going to be really, 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 really good on the edge. Really good.
Brandon, if there is one player on this roster, I know spring is a time for everybody to get excited about the newcomers, right? But if there is one player on this roster that was here in 2024 and played and did nice things, but that you think is poised for a quantum leap in 2025, who might that be?
I mean, I talked about Jaron Kanek. I think you and I probably agree on that wholeheartedly, actually. Just because of the position change may be the best fit for him. But I'm going to say Danny Okoye. He's ridiculous. I would say Danny Okoye, and then I would probably throw out David Stone, and then probably Eddie Pierre-Louis at offensive line. So I think the trenches. And I think if you're an OU fan, you look at that and you go, heck yes, that's exactly what you want to hear, right? I think you've got a lot of really good things that could be very, very, very positive for OU, as far as Okoye, as far as David Stone, as far as Jaron Kanek, as far as Eddie Pierre-Louis. And then, I would even go as far as to say, and it sounds like a really weird thing to say, but I think Deion Burks, if he stays healthy, I think you see what he was supposed to be in 2024 in 2025, if that makes sense.
Okay, Brandon, sorry about that. Messed up there for a second. But I wanted to ask you, Future Freaks coming up. Give me a couple of the storylines for you from the Future Freaks weekend.
Well, I think it starts and ends with the quarterback, right? I think Bo Bentley coming back with his mom and his dad. His dad was with him the first time around. His mom gets to come this time around. Now, I talked to some people today, and I'm not real. I think Oklahoma feels good about the situation, but at the same time, I think they're going about this very cautious because I think with the move of Jaden O'Neal to Mustang, with him wanting to be a Sooner very badly, obviously, but still with Georgia pushing very hard, and I would watch Georgia very closely there. And if Bo Bentley wasn't involved in this, I don't think Georgia would even be. I don't think anybody would be in the picture for Jaden O'Neal. So this is kind of a thing where he's trying to save his own butt as well, right? I think that, and it makes sense for him to do so, right? You don't want to be in a class where there's two top 150 guys at quarterback. That doesn't make sense for a lot of guys in the transfer portal world to do that. Yes, Oklahoma wants two. There's other ways that they feel that maybe Oklahoma could go about it. This whole thing is going to be interesting, how this whole thing plays out. So I think that's going to be interesting just because Bo Bentley has LSU, Florida State, Georgia, Ohio State, and I believe, is it Texas A&M, right, is the other one, right? And Auburn, I think. Those are kind of the 5-6 schools that he's looking at right now. So I there's some really good schools that Bo Bentley's in on. He's going to take official visits to those. So this thing's probably not going to get ironed out for a while. So the longer it goes, the more that Jaden O'Neal kind of pushes for that recruiting class because he is the leader of the class. So you get, if he goes away, there might be some dissension there with some of the 26 class, some of the top guys that he's in on. So that's something to watch as well. But I think Peyton Houston, how Oklahoma – continues to move in that direction. And again, that's a Jaden O'Neal guy. Even though he's another quarterback, he's a 2027 guy. They grew up together, so playing alongside each other. So that's another situation. I think the defensive line, there's some pretty big targets at a defensive line. Obviously, Tavion Branch is coming in town. I'm trying to remember all the names off the top of my head, but Taj Overton, Tavion Branch, obviously Jalen Brewster, Joseph Graves, just between the 26 and 27 classes, there's some really, really, really big names that are coming in for this Future Freaks. So I think the defensive line is another position that you look at and that Oklahoma fans need to really pay attention to because Oklahoma has a chance to really springboard themselves in the 26 and 27 class if this thing goes well this weekend.
Okay, Brandon, let's call it like it is. The Sooners are going to have in excess of 50 visitors on campus this weekend.
Yep.
Odds are, probability would suggest you're going to pick up at least one commitment. That would be the hope, and especially with how many of these guys have visited Oklahoma before, have familiarity, have been pursued by the staff for so long. By no means is it a guarantee, but you feel pretty good about Oklahoma being able to pick up at least one commitment this weekend. I'm going to ask you to take a guess. If you get it right, we'll throw a party for you next Friday. If you guess wrong, nobody will ever remember you said this. But if you had to take a guess as to who commits to Oklahoma this weekend, who's at the top of your list in terms of likelihood?
Oh, my gosh, Parker. I honestly, that is a question that I honestly am not. I don't know, man. Just because, and I'm looking through the. Oh man, maybe an offensive lineman. I don't know. I mean, maybe a Maxwell Robinson or I don't know. Man, Parker, I honestly, it sounds really stupid, but I honestly have no freaking clue who they would maybe a Taj Overton. I don't know, Jalen Brewster. Like, I know he really likes Oklahoma a lot. 2027 defensive lineman. Like, those are the names that I like. If I was going to guess, would be up there, right? And obviously, if Bo Bentley decides to pop, I think that would make things super interesting. A few days after Jaden O'Neal just moved to Mustang. So, I guess those would be the names off the top of my head, to be honest. I want to ask you, who is yours?
You're going to turn it around on me, huh?
Yeah. It's not easy because there's not really anybody that's like super close.
Well, not necessarily, but again, I think if you look through this list and just consider how many guys have been recruited by this staff for long enough that you could maybe see this weekend pushing them over the edge, or maybe you get a brand.
Maybe Ja'Cory Smith actually would be a good one. 2026 linebacker out of Arkansas, former teammate of Amarian Robinson. Four-star linebacker.
Yeah, or you think about guys that could pick up an OU offer this weekend that might be tempted to commit on the spot. I look at a guy like Brighton New, Jet New's younger brother, 3-star tight end from Lehigh, Utah. What if the Sooners offer him this weekend? You'd feel pretty strong about their ability to close that one out with some rapidity, if you will.
Yeah, I like that. I think him, Titus Hawk. I think that's probably your best bet as far as like the younger guys go. Yeah, particularly at tight end. So I don't know. There's probably 4 or 5 guys like we just named that I think are up in that situation. I think Taj Overton, he tweets out a lot of pro OU stuff out of Owasso, one of the top 250 players in the country, top 200 players in the country, defensive lineman. I mean, I feel like he's destined to be a Sooner, but we'll see, right?
Brandon Drum, ladies and gentlemen, joining us every Friday right here on the Riverwind Casino Hotline when we're here at Riverwind. Brandon, have a good weekend. I know you'll be taking a lot of stuff in this weekend. It should be a fun weekend, though, and we'll talk to you next week.
Yes, sir. Y'all take care. Thank you.
Brandon Drum, OU Insider, joining us here on the Home of Sooner Fans. By the way, OU women tipping it off against Kentucky. We'll give you early update on that. We'll see what the poll question looks like today on YouTube as well when we get back, and some final thoughts here from Riverwind on what's going to be a very busy sports weekend. Mike Steely along with Parker Thune here on the Home of Sooner Fans coming back. One more award-winning segment. Please alert the Oklahoma Association of Broadcasters. This could be time capsule material. We'll be right back.
The Ref is SEC ready. Are you? Download the KRF app today to get ready for it to just mean more in 2024.
What's up, Ref Army? It's Dusty Dvorak, and I'm back. I'm excited to be back with the Ref and cannot wait to help bring the home of Sooner fans the best Sooner coverage. Catch me every Tuesday and Wednesday during the 10 a.m. hour of The Plank Show as I cut it up with Plank and Josh about everything in the world of Sooner and college football. That's every Tuesday and Wednesday on The Plank Show, and there's only one place to hear it. The Ref, the home of Sooner fans. Download the KRF app today to listen from anywhere.
At Primrose Funeral Service, we have been compassionately serving families for over 80 years. Do your loved ones a favor by pre-planning your funeral and cemetery arrangements. With pre-planning, Primrose can help eliminate the difficult decisions at a difficult time, because nobody should plan for a loss at the same time they are experiencing one. Our sincere commitment is to make things a little easier for you and your family. So contact Primrose Funeral Service at 405-321-6000 or visit them online at primrosefuneralservice.com. Basketball season's here, and there's no better place to watch the Sooners than at Coach's Corner in Norman. Catch every thrilling play on tons of TVs, plus enjoy the coldest beer in town. But wait, Coach's Corner isn't just for game days. Join us Tuesday nights for bingo, Wednesday nights for Singo, and don't miss Thirsty Thursdays with unbeatable drink specials. With Soul Food Sundays, the best atmosphere for OU basketball, and events all week long, Coach's Corner is your go-to spot at the intersection of Lindsay and Berry, where every day is game day.
Does your business need a trusted electrical advisor to help with repairs, maintenance, service changes, or upgrades? Don't just trust anyone. Choose Wade Electric, a family-owned company with over 50 years of experience. Wade Electric has an extensive portfolio of completed projects in new construction, remodels, and service. We specialize in a variety of electrical installations like accent lighting and automation, landscape and security lighting, shop and outbuilding wiring, and more. Call Wade Electric today at 405-329-1940 for all your electrical needs.
I'm Gina Mitchell of Mitchell's Jewelry. Our showroom is home to classic favorites like diamond earrings and pearl strands, plus cool watches from Michelle and Shinola, and cases full of the latest trends. We are known for our engagement rings and love giving our customers every option, straight from our cases or in their very own custom design, with natural diamonds, lab-grown diamonds, or colored gemstones. Shop with us in-store or shop our website or Instagram. Mitchell's Jewelry in the heart of Norman at 2201 West Main Street.
Hey y'all, I'm Kelly Clarkson. Every American dreams of creating a better life for his or her family, but in some communities, those dreams face difficult challenges. When we come together to help those in need get the same opportunities as everyone else, we truly are making our country a better place to live for all of us. So look for volunteer opportunities in your community to help others achieve the American dream, all right? This message is courtesy of the United States Air Force.
I thought mixing bleach with my floor cleaner would take the stain out.
When my youngest ate the dog's medicine, that was a new one.
I was trying to protect my garden, but I accidentally sprayed myself with pesticide.
So I called 1-800-222-1222, the poison helpline.
A poison expert helped me figure out what to do next.
I was connected to someone who spoke Spanish.
They answered my questions.
It was free.
It was confidential.
It was real help in real time.
Keep the poison experts in your pocket. 1-800-222-1222.
Medicaid and CHIP offer free or low-cost health coverage for children and teens. Hospital and doctor visits, prescriptions, shots, and more are covered. That's peace of mind for parents if a child is sick or gets injured. And parents may now be eligible for Medicaid too, even if they've applied in the past. Enrollment is always open. Visit InsureKidsNow.gov or call 1-877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Back here at Riverwind Casino, it is a Friday. Mike Steely, Parker Thune with you, and we got our man Blake Gamble. We'll get the final results on the poll question today, and we might have a few chats that I've been a little lax on YouTube today. It's been kind of busy out here. I'm just saying. And we'll get to the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. The OU women, why don't we check in with Blake right now and let us know about the poll question today. We were asking about Jaren Kanak and moving to the offensive side of the ball, playing tight end. And do we have any have they started it up in Greenville, South Carolina yet, Blake? What's up?
Yes, they have, Steelman. Currently, the Sooners trail by 2 points, just under 4 minutes left in the first quarter, so it's early. Kentucky leading 13-11.
There you go. All right, and what do we have poll numbers-wise today?
Yes, just closed the poll. The question today was, what are your thoughts about Jaren Kanak moving to offense this spring? The winner today, fired up. He's going to be a star with 56% of the vote. The second place option, optimistic, but let's wait for the fall with 40%. And one single vote at the buzzer, upset, should have been there day one. So we finally got someone that was upset to get a vote.
There you go, buzzer beater. There you go.
Steelman, I do have one question that I'd like to get. Maybe Parker would have a good answer for this, but High Fidelity Records does ask, howdy, fellas. He says, I think Kanak will be more of an H-back, a la Dimitri Flowers or Trey Millard. And then he does go on to say, no way they're going to line him up opposite a defensive end in the SEC. What do you guys think? Any chance we'll see him used more like that, or do you think he'll be more of a true tight end or maybe split out wide?
See, I tell you, I don't know that I have an answer to that, because it would seem when you look at his skill set, right, and you look at his size, you look at his athleticism, he seems pretty well suited for that fullback, H-back type of role. The only question is that something Ben Arbuckle is going to implement in his offense? And we just don't have any clue, right? Like, we can make judgments based upon what he did at Washington State, but no doubt Arbuckle's going to throw in some new wrinkles now that he's at Oklahoma. He's just not going to copy and paste his Washington State playbook and put an OU logo on it and call it good. No, he's going to adapt the scheme to his personnel. He said that in his opening statement when he was announced as Oklahoma's next offensive coordinator. He said, look, the personnel will dictate the scheme. And so whatever he sees Jaren Kanak as, if he sees Jaren Kanak as more of a pass-catching tight end, a field stretcher because of the speed, then, you pretty well can rely on him to operate in a more standardized tight end role. But if he says, okay, this dude could be an outstanding H-back, we just have to find ways to integrate that particular position into the things we're doing, then that's certainly within Arbuckle's purview to be able to accomplish that. And so doesn't really matter what I think, doesn't really matter what Steely thinks. As I see it, it just depends on how Ben Arbuckle sees Kanak's skills best fitting into the Oklahoma offense.
Yeah, I could see him doing both. Again, is he going to be a guy that's going to line up and block, a lot of those unbelievable defensive ends in the SEC? Probably not, but I think in special situations too, when you can get him isolated on a linebacker, as long as he can catch the ball, he's got the athleticism and the speed to get open. So we'll see. But I can see both. I think he's got some versatility for sure. Okay, so the OU women again taking on Kentucky right now in the SEC tournament. We've got a busy sports day in Norman, and softball again tonight, 6:30 on the SEC Network. Oklahoma, number 1 in the country, 19-0. South Carolina, number 10 in the country, at 20-0. The last two remaining unbeaten. So what a way for Patty Gasso and company to open up SEC play. And the only two unbeatens left, number 1 versus number 10. They will not play tomorrow because of the weather coming into the Norman area. They will play a doubleheader Sunday at 1:30. Meanwhile, Sooner baseball game tonight, Sam Houston State at Mitchell Park, 6 o'clock pregame right here on the Ref, 6:30 first pitch. And just like softball, obviously, they're not going to play tomorrow because of the weather. They will play a doubleheader noon on Sunday against the Bearcats. Number 1 ranked Oklahoma women's gymnastics team will be in action tonight. Senior night and last meet of the regular season, taking on Michigan tonight at 7:15 at the LNC. The number 1 ranked men's team will be in Williamsburg, Virginia. Tomorrow for a meet with William and Mary and Greenville. And by the way, Sooners and the Longhorns, of course, tomorrow night in the SEC Network. So many implications. Both coaches have their jobs on the line. Both teams are fighting to get into the NCAA tournament. Both teams have a freshman who's going to be a lottery pick in the NBA draft. Porter Moser has never beaten Texas. So can you imagine if the Sooners can go get this, and I still think they probably need one more, but if they get this win for Porter's first win and that gets him into the NCAA tournament, that would be huge. That's tomorrow night, 7 o'clock on the SEC Network. And by the way, Thunder basketball tonight, not playing for OKC tonight. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander resting. J-Dub not playing tonight. He's got a wrist issue. He could probably play, if they were playing the Nuggets tonight rather than Sunday noon on ABC. Lou Dort's not going to play tonight. Ihart's not going to play tonight. Cason Wallace isn't going to play tonight. Chet, they list him as questionable, but I don't know. I don't see him running Chet out there with the other guys. Would they? We'll see. But I think you'll look at Alex Caruso, Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, Jay Will, and Kenrich Williams starting. Then you'd have Jang, Carlson, Flagler, some guys like that. But it's basically going to be the Thunder B team against the Portland Trail Blazers tonight. Okay, Parker, do you want to get some text in on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line?
Let's do it. Jeremy from Memphis says, Kevin Wilson knows how to utilize a hybrid H-back as well as anyone. Maybe they will have a Jaren Kanak package.
It's possible. Yeah, it's possible they could do that. Am I on the radio? Yes. Yeah. So anyway, the Kevin Wilson, yeah, absolutely they did. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Parker said Ben Arbuckle did say, as Parker mentioned, that he will look at his personnel and then they'll kind of figure out if there are any, new wrinkles or new plays they could put in the offense.
What do you think? Is this text block worthy from Kevin in Tulsa? He said, modern country is almost as bad as Tom Petty. I'm willing to issue the block just based on the Tom Petty slander.
Well, modern country, I can agree with him on that, but I'm a Tom Petty guy too. Music and art is just all subjective though, right? I mean, what you may like, I may think that's like, I don't get at. I just can't get why all these people think these newfangled country bumpkin artists are any good. But that's me, But yes, I would give him some forgiveness on this one. But that cuts pretty deeply. I was listening to a podcast recently that had Mike Campbell on. He's got a new book out, and it's the Rolling Stone Music Podcast. Rolling Stone Music Now, and he was talking about, growing up, and obviously how they got everything going with their band. It's pretty good. It's on Rolling Stone Music Now. Tom Petty gone way too soon. Sooner USS Vaughn asked me this on the Twitter. What? That may be in reference to Mike Vaughn, the former Oklahoma offensive tackle they used to call the USS Vaughn. He was a huge human. Steely, you mentioned Chicago, one of my favorite bands. What are your top 5 Chicago songs? I mean, I could get into that because I think Beginnings is one. Call on Me, probably number 2. Does anybody really know what time it is? Would be 3. Those are all, I believe all of those are on Chicago Transit Authority before they became Chicago, which is a legendary album, by the way. 25 or 6 to 4 would be there. Wishing You Were Here with the Beach Boys vocals, the chorus. And I'm a Man, which was also off Chicago Transit Authority, and then probably Saturday in the Park. So Beginnings, Call on Me. Does anybody really know what time it is? 25 or 6 to 4. Wishing You Were Here. I'm a Man, Saturday in the Park. That's one album I haven't been able to get on vinyl yet. I need to go buy Guest Room Records soon and see if I can pick up Chicago Transit Authority. Really legendary. Okay. Parker, do we have any more you want to close with here?
Sure. A 405 listener says, might have already discussed this, but are there any concerns about Devon Mitchell's weight? Cheeseburger away from a tackle. I mean, if you just see 6'4", 275 on the roster sheet, you're probably, that's exactly what you're thinking. I understand, and that's justifiable. But if you actually see Devon Mitchell up close in person, he carries the weight exceptionally well. It's evenly distributed. It's not like he's got a beer gut or anything. No, he's a very muscular, very toned 275, and you wouldn't guess you're looking at 275 unless the roster told you that.
Yeah, what I saw yesterday looked like he was carrying it pretty well. Keep in mind, again, this should really be his freshman year this year. He reclassified. There's still a lot of potential there, I think, with Devon Mitchell. And I liked, some of the things he said after the season, how, hey, I wasn't ready. I'm still trying to learn things and mature and everything. I like the way he went about his business and what he had to say about that. So, anyway, okay, we've got time for 1 or 2 more.
Another 405 listener asks, what do you think about the O-line? Why should we think it's going to be better? Well, for the simple reason that they're not going to have everyone hurt. At least you wouldn't think so.
Yeah, and they really never got any continuity. They got a little bit better again at the end of the year last year, and they got a little bit better also with Joe John Finley calling plays after Seth Luttrell was officially out. So, for me, it is a situation, again, where I think if they can stay healthy. Look, injuries were a huge part of the offensive issue last year. It was just like, one bowling pin knocked over another. Jackson Arnold's confidence was, I think, a little bit fragile as well, entering the season. And that I think it was just a domino effect with a lot of things on the offense. And it was a historically bad offense. There's no way they will be that inept this year. I just can't see that happening. Okay, we got to get ready to get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Wait a minute. Okay, Hi-Fi Records says he has a copy of that on vinyl for you. Oh, okay. Well, I don't want to take your copy. But, yeah, that's a legendary album. Early Chicago Transit Authority. So go ahead and Google it up. All right. So, busy weekend. Parker's going to be doing taxes and staying indoors for the most part, right?
That is correct.
Is that the plan?
That is the plan.
Good luck with that. I'm impressed that you're doing your taxes, though. That's good. That's really good. All right. I want to thank our friends here at Riverwind, Justin and Company. They're awesome. Get on out here tonight. Big drawings happening tonight, as always, on a Friday night. Your chance to win a lot of cash and bonus play. I got to get out of here. Teddy's coming up at 3. Have a great rest of your weekend.